joined here today by the one, the only, of course, talking about the hype prospect, JJ Wilson, set to debut in the 155-pound division against Alfie Davis, Bellator 272, December 3rd. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Hey, what's good, man? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. It's got to be a little bit bittersweet for you, right? Coming up to 155, I assume weight cut's a lot easier, but you kind of have to establish your name in that division too.
Yeah, so this weight cut is gonna be a lot easier. I'm not cutting 30 to 40 pounds anymore. So I'm super excited to go out there and have more energy and go out there and put on a good show. But also this is also a pivoting point in my career because I have to prove that I'm a 155 contender. So I have to go out there, I have to put a dominating performance, finish him in the first round, so I can put my name in the lightweight division and have the lightweights know who I am.
Did you feel a lot of people were talking about your weight heading into this fight, or because it was in a different weight class, maybe people kind of left that subject alone?
I haven't heard much about people talking about my weight because I've moved out the weight division, so I don't think they're really um super concerned about me missing weight now. But they definitely were talking about my weight prior to that.
Was it frustrating for you moving up to 155 with now it feels like you kind of have to start over, right? Because it feels like at 145 you're on the cusp of a title shot. You had the number one contender bout. Well, was it frustrating for you moving up a division and now it kind of feels like you have to start over?
A little bit, definitely it is. I was literally on the verge of making one of my dreams a reality. But everything happens for a reason. That's what I believe. And I think that just wasn't my time. And everything has a plan in its own way. Everything works out in some sort of way. So that was a wake-up call for me to move up a weight division, because cutting weight to that thing was dangerous to my health.
And so have you made any changes to your body? Sort of, I assume you sort of switch up the diet and some stuff like that. Do you feel different physically?
I definitely feel different physically right now. I'm a lot stronger than I was at 145 because I'm not cutting so much weight. I don't feel as drained and as exhausted as I usually do. I feel a lot stronger. My training partners, everyone's all saying that I'm feeling a lot stronger than I usually do. So, for me, I like this move. I think that this move was at the right time. I just think that I wanted to make the 145 division because I was so close to making my dream that I wanted to at least try my hardest to do it. You see what I mean?
And so you're going to be taking on Alfie Davis, obviously a high prospect out of England. What was your reaction when they came to you and said, this was the next opponent?
I thought he was a good opponent. I think fighting him, is great for me. He's explosive. He's creative. He likes to spin. He likes to impress the fans. A lot of that time, if they land, it's good. But if they don't land, it's not so good. So I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna put pressure on him that he's never felt before. I watched him in all his fights. Whenever the guy put pressure on him, he folds. He doesn't know what to do. So I'm gonna come out there, put pressure on him. You know, look for a finishing shot. If not, take him down and finish the fight. You know.
Was he someone that you were familiar with when you first heard his name, or did you kind of have to do your research and figure out, what's the deal with Alfie Davis?
No, I didn't know who he was. And then when they sent me the name, I did some research. Then I was like, oh, I saw the video of him getting kicked in the butt. And that was about it. That was the only thing I knew about him.
So, I mean, what did you think when you got this matchup? Like, this seemed like the right one for you to kick things off at 155, and with a big win, you could move forward?
Definitely. I can understand why they gave me him. I was looking for other guys that were already in the rankings, but I could understand why they wouldn't give me a ranked fighter straight out the gate, because I'm just moving into the 145 division. I need to establish my name. But I was looking more towards the people inside the rankings than outside of the rankings. But after I come through this fight, then I can have some say in if I can fight a ranked fighter or not.
What's the excitement level like when you're going up against a guy like him that he's flashy, he tends to get kicked in the butt and all that kind of stuff? Like, does that make it more fun for you knowing that, you have something a little bit different to look forward to?
Definitely. Before this fight, he's talked a lot. He's trying to troll me on social media, photoshopping me on things and posting it. So he's trying to get funny. So I'm actually really excited to get in there and shut his mouth.
Is it fair to say there's beef in this fight? Like, do we smell? Is there a little bit of beef there in this one? Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, definitely. He's created some. He's photoshopped me on messed up photos and messaged me these photos, and he's trying to be funny, but it's like, okay, you're from the UK, you probably grew up a nice life with good parents. Like, what are you trying to be? You're trying to be a gangster? Like, you're not a fucking gangster, bro. Like, if I see you in the car park, I'll fuck you up in the car park. Like, don't send me the stuff. So there's definitely some beef. Uh, you know, if I see him, there's not going to be some nice handshakes. It's definitely got beef with him.
Well, was there one in particular that he sent you, and for you that was the last one? You're like, okay, that's it. Next time I see this guy, like, was there one in particular that you remember?
Well, he posted on his Instagram, he photoshopped my name on dogs and said, like, oh, I'm gonna take my puppy for a walk or something. And then I just laughed at it. And then he actually private messaged me like a dirty photo with my face photoshopped on it. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, is this guy gay? Like, what's his problem? He's obsessing with me so much. He takes the time out of his day to Photoshop me onto dogs and Photoshop me onto all these things. Like, he can't stop thinking about me. I'm like, dude, don't you have a girlfriend? Don't you have a life? You go to TV? Like, do something else, dude. He stopped obsessing about me. It's gay. So that is what really, really, pissed me off. And I'm like, I'm not gonna shake his hand. I'm not gonna be his friend after the fight. Like, he can. I hope he goes home in the ambulance and I never see him again.
There's a lot of people for them. This motivates them, adds an extra fire. Some people they get a little reckless. How does that do for you? Like, is this the extra fire that you need going into a matchup like this?
For me, I don't even play into it. He's trying to play a game. He's trying to get in my head, but it's like, dude, you're so insecure about yourself that you need to like spark up this beef when you don't even know who I am to what make yourself feel better. I don't understand it. For me, I just think he's being insecure. It's just an insecure little girl that wants to run his mouth like a high school kid. I'm like, dude, like, grow up. You're 29 years old. Like, grow up, dude. Like, what are you doing? It doesn't really do anything for me. For me, I kind of grew up in bad neighborhoods. I kind of grew up with the shit talking and fighting, and so none of it affects me. It's not gonna change the way I fight. It's not gonna make me get reckless. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna put in my game plan, and I'm gonna finish the fight like I always do.
You mentioned if you see him in the car park, it's not going to go down well. Like, is this a case like, say you were to run into him during fight week? I don't know, at the hotel or something.
He
Is this
better not run into me fight week.
is that the kind of thing you just run at him, or would you wait and see
I
kind of what happens?
No, I would run at him and blind shot him, bro. Like this. Like, I'm from the street as well. Like, I don't care. You're gonna talk shit. Like, you gotta come at me firing. So yeah, he better not see me in the hotel room. It's not gonna be nice.
So when you guys go for the weigh-ins, is it safe to assume you guys need 8 security guards around each person just in case, or are you going to be able to, sort of hold it together just to get the pictures done?
Uh, I don't know. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll say that.
So so you go out there, you win this fight and all that stuff. Is there some sort of post-fight celebration to sort of rub it in his face? Like you mentioned, there's the no respect. We see how Colby handled it, right? With Kamaru Usman and stuff like that. Do you have something planned in sort of that moment?
No, I think fucking him up does it, right?
Fair enough. Can't argue
Like,
with that.
smash him, and then if he tries to shake my hand, just tell him to get fucked, and then walk away. Like, I don't need to run my mouth on the camera because I beat him up. You know what I mean? Like, who was he? I meant to beat him up. I'm gonna be the lightweight champion. I'm gonna be the best in the world. So I'm meant to beat him up. If I turn around and give him the light of day, I'm giving him props. I don't want to give him props. We move on to the next guy. He's
So
old news.
We mentioned the 155-pound division. Before at 145, it used to be Pitbull. Now you move up to 155. It's still a Pitbull that's there. How do you sort of look at 155? Because a lot of people have a lot to say on how the division kind of looks with the new champion and everything.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the 145 division pretty much, except his brother's got it. You know, they got a similar style. I think Patricky is a little bit slower, but more heavy handed than Patricio. So it's almost the same, except the guys are just a little bit bigger. They just hit a little bit harder.
So say everything goes to plan. How quickly do you think we could see you get the title shot? We saw how quickly it happened at 145. How quickly could we see it at 155? Say everything goes to plan.
If everything goes to my plan, I should be fighting for the title within 4 fights. I'm already, this fight is so. I'm assuming, I don't know 100%, but if this fight will get Alfie Davis into the rankings, as they're saying, this will put me in the rankings if I win. And then from there, it's just a matter of fact on who I fight in the rankings to how fast I'm going to get my shot. So hopefully I can get in the rankings after this fight, and then look to fight a guy in the top 5 in the rankings, and then look to try get a number 1 contender shot.
So for people watching, obviously they if the beef's not enough for them somehow, what can they expect come from the actual in cage fight? Like, why would people tune in? What is it about this fight that makes it so exciting?
I have a high finish rate. I come out every single fight and I look to finish, and so does my opponent. My opponent, he comes out, he's flashy, he likes to spin, he likes to do big moves that are exciting. He's looking to finish the fight. We're both young fighters coming out there, ready to finish each other at any second. So definitely tune in and watch. It's gonna be fireworks.
All right, one last question for you to kind of go along with all that. It's an easy one, it's an obvious one, but how do you see yourself getting your hand raised out there?
I think it's gonna be a second round finish, submission.
All right, well there we go. We look forward to it. Thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. Really good stuff here.
All right, thank you.